Welcome to the first video for the chapter on local government law. The principal focus of this chapter concerns the uses which may be made of property both now and in the future. Specifically, this chapter focuses on the restriction on the use of property that may be imposed by local governments. In order to understand these regulatory restrictions, you must first understand how local governments acquire their power. In Canada, the Constitution splits powers between the federal and provincial governments, which is known as the division of powers. As a result of this split, land is principally within the regulatory domain of provincial governments, which means that, for the most part, it is the government of each province and not the federal government that has the power to make laws and regulations which affect land. In British Columbia, the provincial government exercises its authority to regulate land both directly and indirectly. An example of direct regulation is the Agricultural Land Commission Act, which establishes a provincial government agency, the Agricultural Land Commission, or ALC, and agricultural land reserves, parcels of land which may not be used for non-farm purposes. Under the Act, which is a provincial statute, the ALC has the power to pass regulations affecting agricultural land in the province. This example demonstrates how the government of British Columbia exercises direct control on the use of land in the province. However, the primary concern of this chapter is indirect provincial regulation of land, specifically the regulation of land use by local governments. While the Constitution distributes power between the federal and provincial governments, the provinces possess the power to create local governments and to delegate to these local governments some of their provincial powers obtained under the Constitution, including the power to regulate land use. In British Columbia, the provincial government has exercised this power and created local governments in several forms, which are empowered to pass regulations pertaining to land use. This delegation of power is done through provincial statutes referred to as enabling statutes, which expressly create local governments and provide them with the power to act. In other words, these provincial laws are the source of the powers of local governments. With a few exceptions, the creation, structure, and powers of local governments in British Columbia are set out in the Community Charter, the Local Government Act, and the Vancouver Charter. Of course, the province retains the power to revoke or expand the powers of local governments by amending these enabling statutes. It is also important to remember that while local government is a convenient term, it is not a singular concept. In fact, the Local Government Act itself creates 3 different levels of local governments: regional districts, municipal governments, and local improvement districts. These 3 levels of government do not operate entirely independent of each other. They may have overlapping jurisdictional powers and geographical territories. BC is divided into 27 regional districts, covering nearly the whole area of the province. Each municipality and local improvement district lies within at least one regional district, and it is possible that the boundaries of a municipality and a local improvement district will overlap. For example, it is possible that a single property could be located within the boundaries of a regional district, a municipality, and a local improvement district. It is important that licensees are aware of this, as a single property could therefore be subject to land use regulations imposed by multiple local governments. In the illustration on the slide in front of you, Fred's house is in a distinct regional district, a municipality, and a local improvement district, and would be subject to the land use regulations of each of these levels of local government. The remainder of this chapter will explore the powers of municipal governments in more detail and describe how local governments regulate the use of land. I hope you have enjoyed this video introduction to local governments. Thank you for watching.